You're scrolling through your feed, sipping on coffee, when a headline catches your eye. Nepal just broke another world record. You pause. Isn't Nepal that small country with mountains and monks? But here's the thing. Behind those peaceful prayer flags and snow-capped peaks lies a place full of wild, shocking, and straight-up unbelievable facts that almost no one talks about. Did you know Nepal is home to soldiers feared around the world, a calendar that doesn't even follow the rest of us, and a mountain so high it steals jet streams? And that's just scratching the surface. Let's break it all down. Number 10. The world's tallest mountain lives here. Ever heard of Mount Everest? Of course you have. It's the kind of thing that doesn't just stay under the radar. Known locally as Sagarmatha in Nepali and Chomolungma in Tibetan, this towering giant stretches up to 8,849 meters, 29,032 feet, above sea level, making it the highest point on Earth. It's like someone put the roof of the world right in Nepal's backyard. You'd think that climbing it is fairly modern, but the first recorded successful ascent was way back in 1953 by Tenzing Norgay and Sir Edmund Hillary. What's cooler? Norgay was a Nepali Sherpa, which gives Nepal a forever tie to Everest's incredible legacy. Speaking of Sherpas, the indigenous Sherpa community plays an essential role here. They're like human superhumans when it comes to mountaineering. With lungs literally adapted to high altitudes, they've been guiding climbers for decades, often risking their lives for others to achieve their Everest dream. Consider that 280 people tragically lost their lives attempting Everest as of 2025, and Sherpas are typically the unsung heroes saving countless others. They're legends living among us. But Everest isn't just for climbers. Even standing at its base at a spot called Everest Base Camp is a life-changing experience. Tourists flock here annually, even if icy winds slap their faces all day. And in case you're wondering, Everest isn't just about adventure, it's an economic lifeline for Nepal. Mountaineering permits alone bring in millions annually, with climbers coughing up $11,000 per permit in 2025. That's just the start because tourism around Everest fuels countless businesses. Truth is, Everest is more than a mountain. It's a phenomenon. And if you think that's impressive, wait until you hear about a holy birthplace. Number 9. The birthplace of Buddha. Here's one you might not know. The Buddha, a spiritual teacher who changed the course of history, was born in Nepal. Siddhartha Gautama, later known as Buddha, took his first breath in Lumbini, a serene village in the Rupandehi district of southern Nepal, around the 6th century BCE. For millions of Buddhists worldwide, this spot is sacred ground. It's like Mecca for Muslims or the Vatican for Catholics, a place of pilgrimage that stirs the soul. Lumbini today is more than just a historical name. It's an actual site meticulously preserved as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Maya Devi Temple marks where Buddha was born, named after his mother, Maya Devi. Inside, archaeologists discovered a stone slab said to pinpoint the exact spot where Siddhartha was born, a chillingly ancient link to a moment more than 2,500 years ago. And besides the temple, the surrounding Lumbini Sacred Garden is awe-inspiring, with monasteries built by countries like Japan, Thailand, and China that reflect different Buddhist architectural styles. Then there's the peace flame. A single flickering flame burns eternally at Lumbini to symbolize worldwide harmony, a lesson that feels especially important today. Annually, around 1.5 million pilgrims and visitors come here as of 2025, walking in Buddha's footsteps with everything from quiet curiosity to full-on devotion. With so much religious history packed into one village, Lumbini feels like the spiritual heart of Nepal. But here's a wild shift for you. While Nepal may be the birthplace of inner peace, it has never experienced the chaos of colonization. Number 8. The country that was never colonized. This one's a flex. Nepal is part of a pretty exclusive club of countries that were never colonized ever. While much of Asia was carved up by European powers, Nepal managed to remain independent, outmaneuvering the British Empire itself. How, you ask? 2 words. Smart diplomacy. Okay, 3 more insanely tough warriors. During the 19th century, the British East India Company, fresh off dominating most of South Asia, tried its luck at invading Nepal during the infamous Anglo-Nepalese War of 1814 to 1816. And yes, the British won, on paper, but they had no idea what they'd just gotten themselves into. Facing them were the Gurkhas, Nepal's fearsome soldiers who fought like lions defending their pride. The Brits were so impressed with their bravery and combat skills that they signed a treaty letting Nepal govern itself, while also awkwardly recruiting Gurkhas into the British Army. Hundreds of years later, Gurkha soldiers still serve globally, famously carrying their kukris, curved knives, and an attitude that says, "Don't mess with me." Nepal's independence wasn't just about muscle, it was tactical genius too. Leaders like King Prithvi Narayan Shah referred to Nepal as a yam between 2 boulders. Translation? They were stuck between political giants China to the north, British-occupied India to the south, and had to balance alliances carefully. Instead of direct confrontation, Nepal played its diplomatic cards right, ensuring its sovereignty. Even now, as the world evolves, Nepal holds a proud narrative of never being colonized. What's next? Something you won't find anywhere else on Earth. Number 7. The flag that stands out. Literally. How often do you see a flag that isn't a rectangle? Nepal dares to be different. It's the only country in the world with a non-rectangular flag. Think of it as 2 stacked triangles, one on top of the other. But it's not just about being quirky. Every single detail on this flag has a story to tell. The 2 triangular shapes? They represent the Himalayas, naturally, since Nepal is home to those majestic snow-capped beauties. Some say they also symbolize the 2 main religions here, Hinduism and Buddhism. Then come the symbols. There's a moon on the top triangle and a sun on the bottom one. It's poetic, really. The moon stands for calmness and serenity, reflecting the peaceful nature of the Nepali people. The sun? Well, it's all about that fierce resolve and resilience. Together, they signify that as long as the sun shines and the moon glows, Nepal will prosper. And here's a cool twist for 2025. Modern dye technology has made those crimson and blue colors on the flag pop more than ever. Crimson symbolizes bravery. Nepalese are famously fearless, you've heard of the Gurkhas, right? While that deep blue stands for peace. And did you know the unique design might have practical origins too? Smaller flags are lighter to carry while trekking up those mountain passes, especially when the winds whip. Plus, talk about standing out at the UN. While the sea of rectangle flags drifts into the background, Nepal's timeless triangle steals the show effortlessly. Number 6. A biodiversity buffet. Nepal is small on the map, but massive when it comes to biodiversity. Picture this. It occupies 0.1% of the world's land area, but it's home to around 3.2% of all the planet's flora and fauna. That's like finding a treasure chest in a shoebox. From subtropical jungles filled with prowling tigers to high-altitude deserts where snow leopards roam, Nepal packs everything into its compact borders. Step into the Chitwan National Park, and you might come face to face with a one-horned rhinoceros, a species so rare it's practically mythical. You'd also find the elusive Bengal tiger, which, by the way, has seen a population increase with over 355 tigers prowling the country's forests in 2025. Climbing higher, the Annapurna region unfolds a different kind of paradise. It's a bird watcher's dreamland, boasting over 900 species, including the majestic Himalayan manala bird so vibrant it looks like it's been painted by a child wielding every crayon in the box. Fun fact, this manal is also Nepal's national bird. And plants? Well, Nepal's collection is mind-blowing. Think of orchids, over 500 species of them, and the mystical rhododendron, which bursts into clouds of red and pink every spring. And here's where unreal Nepal's biodiversity thrives because of its jaw-dropping altitudes. There's only a 200-kilometer stretch between the low-lying plains of Kapilvastu and the summit of Everest, but that elevation change unlocks countless ecosystems. It's as if Mother Nature decided to stuff all her habitats in one compact space to show off. Number 5. The living goddess, or Kumari. Here's something straight out of a fairy tale. Nepal has a living goddess, called the Kumari, who's literally worshipped by thousands. Imagine being a little girl and being revered as divine. But this isn't some gimmick. The tradition runs deep. Every few years, a young girl from the Newar community is chosen through an elaborate selection process that almost feels like a myth in itself. She must meet 32 perfection criteria. They check for everything from physical beauty to how calm and fearless she remains in unsettling situations. Think about it. You're sitting in a room full of masked dancers with eerie music blaring, and you can't even flinch. Talk about poise under pressure. Once chosen, she moves into Kumari Gar, a traditional palace in Kathmandu Durbar Square. Her days are filled with rituals, blessings, and ceremonies. Fun fact? She gets ready with a face painted with intricate red and gold designs, a nod to her divine status. But here's the heart of it. The Kumari represents Taleju, a goddess of strength and protection, and her blessings are considered so powerful that even Nepal's heads of state kneel before her on special occasions. It's like being a silent queen with the most symbolic authority. And before you start wondering, the Kumari doesn't remain a goddess forever. She transitions back to regular life after puberty, a change that must feel bewildering after years of divine treatment. But times are changing. As of 2025, efforts are underway to ensure the girls can smoothly reintegrate into society, even pursuing education and careers. From gods to textbooks, quite the career pivot, wouldn't you say? Number 4. Festivals everywhere, all the time. If there's one thing Nepalists know how to do, it's celebrate. There are over 50 festivals observed here yearly, so on any given day, there's a good chance people are lighting lamps, parading through streets, or swinging on wooden cradles. The grandest of them all? Dashain. Think of it as Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New Year's combined. It's that big of a deal. Households clean up, prayers are offered, and families gather to feast on plates piled high with mutton, lentils, and sweet rice pudding. And kite flying? It's not just a pastime during Dashain's symbolic period, meant to send a message to the gods that the festive season has begun. Imagine looking up and seeing an entire sky dotted with dancing kites. Magical, right? But if Dashain is about family, Tihar is about bonds, especially the bond between humans and animals. One day is for honoring crows, another for dogs. Yes, dogs. Streets fill with furry friends wearing marigold garlands, their foreheads dabbed with red tikas as thanks for being our loyal companions. And then there's Holi. Picture these streets transformed into battlefields where everyone's armed with colorful powders. There's laughter, water balloons flying hilariously from impossible angles, and an overwhelming energy of joy that sucks everyone in. Ever heard of Indra Jatra? It's a Kathmandu festival that's as much a spectacle as it is spiritual. Chariots carrying sacred statues rumble through the streets, while the Kumari makes a rare public appearance. Add traditional dances, music, and glowing oil lamps, and you've got yourself a sensory overload that feels like stepping into another world entirely. Nepal is a country where the word holiday doesn't just mean a long weekend, it means full-blown celebrations that can last for days or even weeks. Take Dashain, for example. This is the biggest festival in Nepal, stretching over 15 days. It celebrates the victory of good over evil, with the goddess Durga at the center of all the rituals. Homes are cleaned top to bottom, families gather, and yes, animals are sacrificed in her honor. It's an ancient tradition. People also swing on giant bamboo swings, exchange blessings, and enjoy traditional food like goat curry and sell roti. Dashain isn't just an event, it's practically a second new year for Nepalis. Then comes Tihar, also known as the Festival of Lights, which could give Diwali a run for its rupee. Houses glow with candles and oil lamps, while colorful rangoli designs decorate every doorstep. But here's the coolest part: dogs have their own dedicated day during Tihar called Kukur Tihar. They're garlanded, fed treats, and worshipped as messengers of the god of death. Yep, even the stray dogs know they're appreciated those few days. Don't forget, crows and cows also have their own special moments during Tihar. It's like an inclusive festival for every creature, big or small. Holi might be the messiest but the most fun. Picture this: you're walking down the street in your brightest whites, and bam! Someone douses you with colored powder. That's Holi for you, the festival of colors. It's a free-for-all where people sing, dance, and throw colors in celebration of the victory of good over evil. It's chaotic, laugh-inducing, and completely unforgettable. What about the festivals unique to certain ethnic communities? The Newar community celebrates their new year called Nepal Sambat, which includes processions and feasting. The Manang people ring in Yartung, a horse racing festival that's like a mini fiesta in the Himalayan valleys. Add Buddhist celebrations like Buddha Jayanti and Hindu ones like Magha Sankranti to the mix, and Nepal's calendar feels like every day is a party. And you know what? It kind of is. Number 3. World of Heritage Sites galore. If heritage sites were gemstones, Nepal would be the crown jeweler's workshop, glittering with treasures. Start with Kathmandu Valaya Single Valley that boasts 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. 7. Swayambhunath Stupa, known fondly as the Monkey Temple, is perched on a hill with endless views of Kathmandu. You'll find mischievous monkeys scurrying across the temple grounds, which, fair warning, might also scurry off with your snacks. But distractions aside, the stupa itself is mesmerizing, covered in prayer flags that flutter in the wind, spreading prayers into the universe. Pashupatinath Temple is holy and bustling. Located along the sacred Bagmati River, you'll see sadhus in vivid robes, cremation ghats where locals say their goodbyes, and countless devotees offering their prayers to Lord Shiva. However, brace yourself, monkeys here are equally bold, and they're an unofficial secondary population in the area. Not a fan of urban buzz? Set your sights on Lumbini instead, the birthplace of Buddha. Imagine standing near the Mayadevi temple where Buddha himself was born. It's like being in the middle of history. What's fascinating here is the harmony of cultures, with different countries contributing monasteries. You'll walk from a Thai monastery to a Tibetan one, and then to a German Buddhist retreat, like you're embarking on a spiritual world tour. Bhaktapur Durbar Square, meanwhile, is an open-air museum of craftsmanship. The wooden carvings, pagoda-style temples, and intricately designed windows make it feel frozen in time. Be sure to taste juju, a curd so creamy it's called king yogurt. Fun trivia: it's supposed to taste even better when eaten out of its handmade clay pot. Oh, and lest we forget, Nepal's heritage isn't just about human-made wonders. Sagarmatha National Park, home to Mount Everest, is part of the same UNESCO family. Yes, even the mountains come with credentials in Nepal. Number 2. Gurkha warriors. When you hear about warriors so legendary that their enemies feared their very mention, those are the Gurkhas of Nepal. Known best for their motto, "Better to die than to be a coward," Gurkhas are not just soldiers, they're a force of nature. Their weapon of choice? The iconic kukuri, a curved blade that's as functional as it is symbolic. It's said that a true Gurkha carries his kukuri not just for battle, but also for everyday tasks, from chopping wood to tending to fields. That's versatility for you. The Gurkhas first made headlines globally when they joined the British Army during the Anglo-Nepalese War in the early 1800s. Their bravery and combat skills wowed even seasoned generals, and they've been a part of the British and Indian armies ever since. During World War I and II alone, over 200,000 Gurkhas served, earning the reputation of being nearly superhuman. Can you imagine trekking through World War trenches in less than ideal footwear and still taking the lead in battle? That's Gurkha grit for you. Beyond combat, there's a human element to their story. Gurkhas are deeply respected for their discipline and humility. They often return to their villages in Nepal and reinvest their earnings into their communities. They've built schools, funded clean water projects, and even supported local economies by creating job opportunities. It's not just about heroics on the battlefield, It's about heroics in everyday life. And talk about exclusivity. The selection process to become a Gurkha is famously brutal. Think running uphill at breakneck speed with a heavy basket of rocks strapped to your back. Tens of thousands compete every year for just a few hundred spots. If Hollywood hasn't made a movie about this yet, it's seriously missing out. And after hearing all this, you might just need a moment to catch your breath. Number 1. Rich cultural diversity. Now shift gears with me, because if the Gurkhas show you Nepal's raw strength, the country's cultural diversity shows you its soul. Nepal is tiny, just about 147,000 square kilometers, but somehow it crams in over 142 different ethnic groups and 124 languages. Let that sink in. You can drive a few hours in any direction and suddenly find yourself in a completely different world. The high hills are home to Gurungs and Magars. The Terai Plains host Maithili and Tharu communities. The mountains belong to Sherpas and Tamangs. And tucked into Kathmandu Valley, Newars have their own thing going on entirely: language, food, festivals, all unique. What makes this even crazier is how everyone gets along. For the most part, different groups mix without too much tension. It's not perfect in any country, but you'll see Hindu processions pass by Buddhist stupas, and people just vibe with it. Religiously, Hindus make up the bulk at around 81.2%. But Buddhism, 8.2%, Islam, 5.1%, and Kirat, 3.2%, also have strong roots. Many Nepalis practice a blend, like worshipping both Shiva and Buddha. In some villages, it's common to see Buddhist prayer flags hanging next to Hindu shrines. And during Tihar, there's literally a day dedicated to worshipping dogs. People put flower garlands on their pups, feed them sweets, and thank them for being loyal. Honestly, that alone should put Nepal on your must-visit list. Linguistically, it's just as intense. Nepali is the official language and spoken by about 44.9% of the population. But there's also Maithili, Bhojpuri, Tamang, Newari, Tharu, Magar, Gurung, and so many others. People often speak 3 or 4 languages depending on where they live. In rural areas, local dialects dominate. In cities, there's more Nepali and English. This multilingualism is practical and helps people connect, trade, marry, and keep traditions alive. In schools, kids often learn Nepali, English, and their mother tongue all at once. Language isn't just communication here, it's identity. Now, if you want a real-time example of what this diversity looks like on the ground, check out Morang District. It's the most ethnically diverse in the country with over 119 recognized castes and ethnic groups. The language split is wild too. Nepali, 40%, Maithili, 23%, Tharu, 6.6%, and then there's Rajbanshi, Limbu, Urdu, Santali, Angika, Tamang. Religions: Hindu, 80.3%, Kirat, 6.5%, Muslim, 4.7%, Buddhist, 4.1%, and Christian, 1.6%. Imagine living in a place where your next-door neighbor might speak a totally different first language and practice a different religion, but everyone still shows up for the same neighborhood wedding or harvest celebration. This kind of cultural layering shows up in festivals, food, and fashion. Newars in Kathmandu throw insane street carnivals called jatras, complete with dancing deities. Tharu communities mark the Magi festival with pig roasts, river dips, and traditional stick dances. Sherpas in the north host Mani Rimdu, a Buddhist festival full of masked dances and rituals. And during Dashain, you'll see goat sacrifices in one village and peaceful meditation in another part of the same holiday season. There's even fusion food: yak cheese momos, Newari-style buffalo curry, and thakali thalas that slap harder than your Spotify playlist. If you enjoyed this video, let us know in the comments section down below and turn on your notifications to know when next we upload. See you in our next video. Bye.